Hi there, it's April Lee with Chronically Me. I wanted to talk all about fibromyalgia today. Fibromyalgia is a full body experience from what I've learned. It affects I'm just going to say what it affects for me, and then you can see what you think, okay? So fibromyalgia affects my mind. Fibromyalgia affects my brain. It affects my neurological system, my muscular system. It affects my mood. It affects my ability to function mentally, physically. It affects my sleep. It affects my vision. It affects my skin. It affects my hair. It affects so many things in my life. It has changed my life completely, good and bad. It has affected my children's lives, not necessarily in a negative way. It's affected my marriage, good and bad, and then good again, thanks to the Lord and therapy and both of us willing to be like open and honest and communicate, and neither one of us making it about ourselves. It's affected my pets, if they get attention or not, or get walked that day or not. It's affected my ability to work. I barely work part-time, and it is affecting finances. It's affecting my car. I drive my car more because I'm going to doctor's visits. It's affecting my insurance deductibles and payments, and it's affecting my ability to do housework in the way I want to do it. Certain things that I love doing, like I used to be able to lead worship or at least go to church every week. I can't always make it to church because I have a hard time sitting for long, standing for long. It depends on the day. Today I sat in a doctor's office. Here and there, when I got uncomfortable, I had to get up and walk around. I'm sitting right now, but I've been moving around a little bit today, so I'm okay right now. But if I sit too long, I get very stiff. My joints start to hurt and ache, and I have to kind of get up and start moving around. It's really weird. It's like if you sit or lay for too long, it's like your body, for me personally, it feels like you have been in a stagnant position, like just stuck in that position for like the entire day or night, like sleeping or whatever. So that way, like when I wake up, I feel like I've, almost been in like a hospital bed for like 3 or 4 days rather than like, up and moving around, blood flowing, muscles warmed up, whatever. So fibromyalgia to me is a full body experience. And I want to talk about it today because I talk about a lot of different things, about all the things that I deal with, but fibromyalgia is like the main thing, and it is the one thing that knocked me off my feet in so many ways. Now, let me talk about some positive things that have happened in my life due to me dealing with fibromyalgia. I have learned how to stand up for myself in every way possible, more than I ever did, ever, dealing with getting diagnosed with fibromyalgia, because you cannot see it. I had to prove myself. I had to basically like help people like in the doctor's office understand what I'm going through, explain it correctly, fight for myself when they look at me like I'm insane or try to blame it just on basic anxiety. So I've learned I've had to deal with medical professionals of all kinds. I have dealt with gaslighting. I have dealt with a doctor's office where, I'll tell you a little story. So I needed a hysterectomy for stage 4 endometriosis. I was having a very hard time walking and limping everywhere in agony due to adhesions on my pelvis and the nerves. And so I had scheduled a hysterectomy by choice because I could not move correctly. And I was in agony. So I have it all set up. I call and speak to the nurse. I did call quite a bit because I was in pain and I was trying to figure out what to do. So I did talk to some nurses, you know, I need to talk to the doctor because of whatever reason. And the nurse thought she hung up the phone, and she proceeded to laugh about me and make fun of me with all the other nurse staff at the office, saying that, you know, oh, this girl's so ridiculous, like she has no pain tolerance, and if once she gets her hysterectomy, she's going to come in here saying she still feels her uterus and that you left it in there, you forgot to take it out, and all this kind of stuff. And I was shocked. I had elected a surgery that could possibly risk a bunch of things, possibly risk my life because you're going under anesthesia, and not knowing the total outcome and what would happen and if endo would come back after dealing with this, since I was basically a young teenager. I was so shocked that I hung up the phone. First of all, before I hung up the phone, I boldly told her, I want you to know I'm still on the phone, and you did not hang up on me. And I'm really shocked and hurt by what you said. And I can't imagine, this is what I told her, I said, I can't imagine if someone was in here due to cancer or something and never had a child and heard what you just said on that phone. That was like, it was shocking. I got off the phone. I contemplated for a couple of days if I was going to proceed with the procedure. I was worried, was the doctor thinking that about me? Was he talking about me like that? What does he think of me? Is this a mistake? Like, oh my gosh, is this just all in my head? It took a bit. So I talked to my husband and I prayed about it, and I went on with the procedure. We both agreed. I wrote a letter, and I waited until the doctor did the surgery. Once I went to my follow-up, I handed this letter in explaining the details of everything, and that how much I cared for the doctor and his practice, that I didn't want him to get sued over a heartless human being, talking about a patient like this, because they could be sued big time. And so I wasn't going to do that. But I just couldn't imagine anyone else dealing with something like that. It was very upsetting to me. I almost canceled my surgery and said, forget it, and just going to live like this over that. So that was something I dealt with. Obviously I'm over it. I do remember it because I'm explaining it to you, but it's over and done. Anyway, so I've dealt with a lot. I went to another doctor's office where I brought up a, you know, it's like a rare but also common condition, which is mast cell activation. I said that, can you please test me for this? I was laughed at and told how rare it is, and whatever. And they tested me. Of course, I had it. And so when you have these conditions, if there's anything visual that you can photograph, like a rash or a bump or a swelling or something, document all of it, because you have something to show. So I went to the doctor today, to a new rheumatologist. I had to get established with a new one. I'm so grateful. He's incredible. I'm not super red yet. I don't have any makeup on here, so I needed to show him my skin. So I'm getting a little pink, but couldn't really tell. My face looked kind of pale at the time. I had to show him my photos. He's like, oh, okay. So he knew what to look for, what to test for, what to confirm, whatever. It's important that anything visual you can document. If you're limping, if let's say that you're weak. I went through a stage of my fibro before I knew I had fibro, that I was crash, burn, crash, and like just go, go, go and dropping. And so I took video of me basically like taking at least 10 minutes to get from like the dining room table to my daughter's bedroom, trying to walk, and like I was off balance and whatever. I had to video that because honestly, I could not believe it for my own eyes. I look back, I'm like, oh, okay, this is wrong, because you think you're nuts, because you get these symptoms, they come, usually with me, they came on gradually, and then everything accumulated. It was like very odd things, and bam, I was off my feet, and full blown, all these issues. So yeah, any advice to you, if you have anything to document, whether it is the way you're acting, the way you're thinking, the way you're walking or moving, or your skin, take photos, take video, save it all, put it in a file in your phone or whatever you got, and then document symptoms, put it in a file. If you, let's say you run fevers at some random time of the day, take your temperature and video yourself if you need to show proof just one time or something, and then take pictures of that thermometer of what you did, because this is just hearsay from you. And if you go to a doctor that does not believe you, they're not going to do much, because you really need to show proof. Like when I showed the photos, it was like, oh, okay. And the fact that I had long COVID, and then started accumulating fevers and rashes and shortness of breath and all this stuff in this pattern. And now I have like a bunch of pictures to show. They're like, oh, okay, you know. And so that's what's helped me get diagnosed with other things. Another thing about fibromyalgia, don't blame everything on fibromyalgia. I had shortness of breath, rashes, this, that, whatever, fevers, extreme fatigue at random with this pattern, and it turned out to be mast cell activation syndrome that needed to be treated. And it was making my fibromyalgia much worse and flaring it up even more. Some things I've learned about myself with fibromyalgia is that I did not want to accept fibromyalgia. Even as a child, my mom was like, nothing's ever good enough for you. And she didn't mean it in a negative way. Like, I always wanted more. I always wanted to be better, do more, have more, see more, give more. More in life. Just, I always had goals and ambitions, even when I was little. And because of that, when I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia, it took me 6 months to even absorb. They told me what I had after basically like years of symptoms, and then 6 months of like deteriorating to the point where like I couldn't do anything, and literally nothing really until I would work, and I'd work a few hours, and then I couldn't do anything for days again. So I went through that, and I lost my train of thought. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. My mind's like all over the place. What was I talking about? I can't remember. This is called brain fog and old age. Anyway, I don't even remember, but all I want to say is that, so about the, what I learned about myself. So I was really hardworking. I never take no for an answer when it comes to something that I feel like I could get done or do or accomplish or something like that. So it's hard. It took me 6 months to even comprehend what fibromyalgia was, that I had it, and it knocked me down so hard, like I couldn't do anything. And so I had to learn how to deal with it. But not only was I learning how to deal with it, I was also trying to find a cure and a cause and a treatment, because you see these people online, oh, I did this and I'm healed and I'm fibro free and da 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 da. Yeah, I'm sure there are people fibro free. I can tell you right now that I have done every single thing except that brain retraining thing. But I did go to therapy for a long while, and I even talked to the woman about cognitive therapy and whatever, and she's like, you are so aware of everything, and you were just dealing with physical conditions. She said, there's nothing mental in all the stuff you've been through, you've healed from and whatever. Like, I don't need that. What I need is to treat my symptoms and to actually accept the fact that this is how it is. It was really hard for me to do that. I was like, yeah, I don't think so. I'm not limping today. And I'd keep going. And then I'd be on the couch for 3 hours. I'm not, I don't know. I'm going to clean 3 bathrooms today or else. And then I got through like the 3rd bathroom, and I was insanely ill with a migraine and extra sick and extremely fatigued for 5 days. Like, it took me a long while to be like, all right, fine. So I went through the grieving process. I accepted it. And at the same time, I was like, all right, I accept it. But at the same time, I'm still going to look for a cure. I'm still going to try to get better. Of course, over time and years of pursuing, I've found all the treatments that maintain the quality that I have, which I don't really know how you gauge fibromyalgia quality. The fact that I'm not in bed 24/7 in agony in the bed like that, to me, is successful. I'm sitting here right now, I'm talking, I'm communicating, I'm able to do this. To me, I'm like functional. I'm not thriving. Like my channel, Hope, Faith, and Thriving. I have the hope, I have the faith. I'm living, and I'm happy, and I'm pursuing basically like the best life possible within my limitations. That's where I'm at. So I had an interview with Morgan Talks. She has impacted the way I think about my illness and my marriage and stuff so much. She did, her name is Morgan Talks, and she has, we did an interview. It's on my channel here, but I saw not interviews. I saw some sit downs that she did on her YouTube talking about her illness, talking about her marriage, talking about all this stuff. And it really helped me realize that fibromyalgia affects not just you. And of course you're the one suffering. Don't get me wrong. It's knocks you off your feet, completely changes everything in your life if you have more than what I would call a touch of fibromyalgia. I never met a person in my life that has just fibromyalgia in their toe. You'll hear people, oh, I have fibromyalgia in my knee and I just rested every Tuesday and I'm fine on Friday and whatever. It's like, okay. So if you truly have fibromyalgia, you know what I'm saying. So fibromyalgia affects your spouse. Fibromyalgia affects your kids. It affects everything. But also what I'm learning with it is that if my mind is healthy and the better I mentally and physically, not even physically, forget it. If I mentally am dealing with my conditions really well, and my heart is right, and I have some, at least some joy. I have got a lot of joy, but if I have at least some joy, and I'm not negative Nancy, it does not really do much to my family. When I was first sick, I was devastated and I was super weak and sick. So because I didn't know how to treat myself physically, I would get up to do something. I'd be halfway in the kitchen to make dinner. I had to just lay down. Like I couldn't do anything. I was so physically weak that I could barely breathe. It took too much energy to breathe. So, that being said, getting the right treatments, doing all the research, I don't regret any of that. I do regret not accepting this sooner because it's made it a lot harder on me in every way, and my family too. But once I physically can do a little bit better, mentally doing better, I'm like, okay, let me get up today. Instead of being like, this day is going to be awful. What 100 symptoms will I have? And will I make it till 2 o'clock? I don't think like that. I get up and I'm like, oh, okay, this is how it is today, whatever it is, whether it's really bad pain or a little pain, whatever it is. And I have to tell myself, all right, I'm going to get up. I'm just going to do what I need to do, which is like on a school day, I need to get my kids to school. So obviously if I don't have vertigo, if I'm just in pain, I get up and I get them where I need to get them. And I'll gauge what I'm going to do based on how I'm feeling. Now I'll get up, I will, make their lunches, whatever I got to do. If I can do that, if I can't, they're going to eat at school that day. But I'm one of those people that if there's anything in me to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm not just going to say, well, I have fibromyalgia, so I'm not making lunches. I'm going to sleep, plan my life. Like I'm going to sleep for 3 hours and then I'm not going to clean anything. And I'm just going to do everything and devote my life to catering to my fibromyalgia. I will not do that. Sometimes I don't have the choice of doing something. So let's say that this weekend I have to work Saturday. I've had to take it real slow this week. I've had to do a little here, do a little there. My neck is terrible. I've had between my husband and 2 kids, they help me with my floors. I did not do my floors. I run a vacuum that runs itself. I did very basic things. If I clean a bathroom, I'll do one, then I'll do another one the next day. I can't do it all. I have some things that have to be done today. I'm going to do probably 1 of the 5 and try to do that tomorrow. I haven't committed to much because of my symptoms. I've been recovering. I went to work Saturday. It took me, I was in the bed Saturday evening until basically Sunday night, Monday morning, off and on, getting in and out of it for something, but in bed until Monday morning, and then rested a lot on Monday because my kids were out of school, and then doing little bits at a time based on the fact that I know whether I'm feeling good or not, if I do too much, I will pay for it in every way. So by me learning how to work with my fibromyalgia, I have made a more peaceful, happy environment in my home with my family. It's not like, oh, look at her now. I mean, even if, let's say I'm limping or I'm in pain or whatever, it does not affect them to the extent that it did if I was a nervous, anxious mess because I'm like, oh, now what will I be tomorrow? What will I be this day? I woke up on Sunday. My head started spinning. I was getting a vertigo coming on. I drove my kids to church. I got them there. I came home. I was like, you know what? I can't do anything. I'm taking Dramamine. I'm getting in the bed. I can only do what I can do. If I could not see, am I gonna like, I don't know, start driving? No, I had to accept it. I had to be like, all right, the room is spinning. I'm sick as a dog. I've done too much. I went too far. I'm in bed. Am I gonna lay there and mope and whine and gripe and complain and be like, oh, no. Did I feel guilty? Yes. Did I say I'm so sorry to my husband? Yes. Did I feel bad about laying around for like 5 hours? Yes, I did. So I recovered enough that I could get up and did a few things and I laid back down. When the energy drains, I go do what I got to do. I have to recharge. This is the way the life is for me with fibromyalgia. I don't know about you. You guys can put in the comments like if any of this is like relatable. So yeah. Another thing is, what's the hardest thing about fibromyalgia is that a lot of the times, if you don't see me at my worst, you see me, you think I look like a lying fool. Oh, her makeup looks good, she's got energy, whatever. Like, you don't see me after I do the whatever. I look like a sea witch with like black circles and blotchiness and fevers and sickness and I just don't look right or feel right. And I don't always want to show that because number one, I feel like gross. I don't feel good. And I don't want anyone to see me with like what I call a sick face, like, because I don't feel good. I have symptoms now. You can't really tell. I'm dealing with them. They're not off the roof, extreme today, thank God, due to all the things I do. Another thing I want to talk about is let's not compare our conditions to anyone anymore. Not saying that you did, not saying that I did, but when I went to the doctor today and the medical assistant was in the office and talking to me, and she was so amazing and so sweet, but she made a statement to me and it really like triggered me bad and made my heart sink a little. She had said to me like, oh yeah, sometimes, the doctor takes more time. Like we get some really serious things like lupus and more extensive things like lupus and arthritis and things like that. And really extreme cases, acting as if like mine, not acting as if, but it insinuated that my condition wasn't as important or as bad when literally my whole life has changed. Like if she could see, but I couldn't take. Of course I got triggered by it. It did bother me. It really did. I was about to cry because I'm like, lady, you have no idea how much my life has changed, how much this alters someone's life in every way, and how much strength it takes to just go on and like want to thrive and want to like do anything. And to be at this visit after literally probably 200 doctor's offices and 12 years of searching, I'm sitting here and to hear a statement like that is so insanely triggering. She didn't know what she said. She didn't mean it in that way. But yeah, fibromyalgia alone is life-altering. It's a full-body experience. It is life-changing in so many ways, and not only negative. There's some positive things too. But my gosh, wow, yeah. So I'm not going to compare myself to someone with lupus or a disease or an ailment or whatever. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to have empathy and sympathy and compassion for anyone of any level of anything, especially the conditions you cannot see with your eyeballs, because I live it. I look like a stinking liar. I look all right. I'm looking at the camera. I look okay. My whole life has been changed. So yeah, you're not alone. If you look like you're ready to walk around the dang runway with the supermodels, or you look like, you need to lose 485 pounds, I believe you. Another thing is, if you're out there and you're trying to cure everybody with the one thing that helped you, share your information, leave it there. This whole statement of, if the second I hear those two words, I'm like, oh God. If anyone's had a condition I'm just gonna say, let's give some leeway. If you've had a condition for more than 3 years, and someone knows that, or you know that, or whatever, stop suggesting. There is no way in the entire world, unless you were locked in a dungeon or a closet or in a coma for 3 years, that you have not done everything in your means, medically, spiritually, every single way possible to get better. Nobody in their right mind would ever choose to have fibromyalgia. Ever. 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 And most of us, I have not met one person with fibromyalgia, and I see a lot of you, that have ever been like, oh, I was a lazy bum with no ambition, and suddenly I just woke up and had fibromyalgia. It seems to be like, and maybe there's the majority of the population of people are outgoing and like go-getters. I don't know. I never seen more people that have these conditions that are, had a real good life going, or like, at least like had a zest for living. You know, it's not like we just laid around one day or we're so inactive we contracted fibromyalgia. It's just not. And not everybody that has fibromyalgia has been traumatized. And I'm really sorry for you parents that have children between the 80s and 90s that are blamed for your adult child having so much trauma that they are freaking physically sick. I'm sorry. I am so sorry that you were in that category, or you feel, attacked or like looked down on, that you have grown your children up, loved them so much, and couldn't provide the most trauma-free zone. And now your adult children are told it's all the trauma they had. Everybody's got some trauma. And yes, some parents give traumatic experiences, and some homes are traumatic and all that, but I'm sorry. I've had some basic trauma in my life, and I'm healed of all of it, and it did not cause my sicknesses. I've been sick for a long while with a lot of things and healed from a lot of stuff, and I'm still sick. And there are people, yes, they've had trauma and trauma, induced things. Yes, fine, but Lord, that bothers me. That bothers me so much. I can't imagine being a parent in that generation and their kid is told by some rheumatologist or some random stupid doctor telling them that because they were spanked or their whole life wasn't revolved around them, that or they were bullied or whatever, they have whatever they got because you can't see it. This is getting old. So I'm sorry I'm getting aggravated about that. That bothers me. I do not like that. I'm sorry. That's just ridiculous. And your lack of faith didn't make you sick. God did not give you fibromyalgia. Whatever you've been told, it is not your fault. You did not eat the wrong thing. Whatever. You did not give yourself fibromyalgia. Nobody did. I don't understand. I don't get it. Fibromyalgia has been around a long time. I don't understand everything about fibromyalgia, but all I know is that I did not give it to myself. I did not have such a traumatic experience that I have fibromyalgia. I just got it. And once again, like I did accept it a few years ago in the sense that I'm like, all right, I have it, but I'm going to fight it off. And literally it was like a few weeks ago where I finally came to this decision that, okay, I've done everything possible. I have had every test in the world. Functional medicine, naturopathic, every kind of thing, chiropractic, like every type of treatment care, research, blood, pee, whatever the heck, scan. I've had every single thing, everything tested, everything, many times, multiple times, a Mayo Clinic, all this stuff. And I even found like more conditions that accumulated the mast cell, which I was hoping that is like the actual like source of my fibromyalgia. But what I realized, unfortunately, but I am grateful. I'm grateful to God that I knew what it was because I'm treating it, so it's helping. But it did not cure my fibromyalgia, and it's not the source because I really trace back to what happened. I got COVID, I got long COVID, and then I got mast cell activation syndrome. So it's linked. Now, hopefully, I can work my way out of it. I'm eating low histamine the best I can. I'm doing all the treatments, all the things. So yeah, let's hope for that. And let's hope I don't like accumulate anything more. I'm still praying. I'm still believing for improvement here and there. I'm still really trying to like do everything I can to alter like not just go from part-time to like alter out of what I do for a career, because it's making me worse. I love it mentally. It's great for me. My heart is so full. I love what I do, but physically it is definitely not something that I'm going to be able to carry on being a hairstylist for like in the next 5-6 years. I can't. It's not helping. It's actually deteriorating my neck even more with the problems I have. But right now I'm very grateful. I'm being very patient and very grateful that I have the business I have. I'm able to do the little bit I'm able to do, and I pay for it every time physically, because I know when I put whatever I put in, what happens to me. Sometimes it's severe, sometimes it's more mild. This last weekend was bad. It knocked me out for 2 days. I'm literally just feeling back to normal-ish. We're talking Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 days from 1 day of a job. That being said, I love my job. I love hair. I love talking about hair. I love formulating color. I love my clients. Like, I'm grateful that it's actually a miracle. It's a miracle. It is a living miracle that I'm able to go get through what I get through. Yes, I pay for it, but somehow the little bit of hours I'm doing, I'm getting through it. Will I be able to do this forever? No. I just know. I can feel it. It's coming. I don't know. But for now, I'm still doing it. And if you're on here and you're one of my clients, I'm not leaving you. Don't worry. But it definitely in my sights is a plan to podcast full time, bring inspiration and hope to others through God's word. My husband has agreed, thank God. He's such an amazing guitar player, especially, well, acoustic and electric, but I'm doing a setup in my house, and we are going to start with one song of like, I call it soulful because I don't like to just sing pretty contemporary songs. I like soulful songs, worship songs. So we're going to start with one, see how that goes. And the Lord gave me a vision a few years ago before I got really, really sick, showing me that we'd be sitting down in an acoustic setting, in a video setting, and sharing music. And that is a talent that I have. It's a gift that the Lord gave me and my husband to not just sing or just play an instrument, to really usher in like the presence of the Lord for other people and for ourselves in music. It'll be mostly all cover songs. I'm starting with one. I'm just going to see what the Lord does. I'm just being obedient. So on the side note, besides fibromyalgia, I'm a Christian. I love the Lord so much. Jesus is my Savior, and that alone is like a warm hug from heaven, because I need that mentally. I'm really strong mentally, but for me personally, without the Lord, like, there ain't no way. There's no way, because even with the Lord, this is very, very, very difficult to deal with. But I want you all to know that if you're on my channel, that I'm going to bring more awareness about this stuff. I'll show you the good stuff, the negative stuff, the positive stuff, all that. I'll share my medical journey and everything I can to support you and let you know that on a day you don't feel good, turn this on and look at me when I don't feel good, and I'll be talking about my day, and it's relatable. It's not negative and like Debbie Downer. It's like, wow, she doesn't feel good either, and look what she's doing, or she's just laying around, or I'm like that. We need each other. This is like next to like, a family of God, which is what I need for my spiritual support. I need you people. I need to watch somebody online deal with what I deal with. I need to hear what you go through. And it helps me to let it all out, and knowing that, hey, I might make someone else feel better. I also am bringing video, so I'm going to bring some music to this channel, and then also whatever, I can do that would be helpful to you, I'm going to bring that. And then these interviews, I absolutely love. I call it podcasting, but it's just interview chats. I find these people that are inspiring. They're dealing with things in life like trauma or illness or abuse or whatever. And they're sharing their journey, they're sharing their life, and it is just even more people to relate to or to like be encouraged by. We need each other. We need each other. We don't need to compare our lives to each other. We don't need to bash each other with illness. We need to know that, okay, like let's say someone's in bed right now and they're watching this video and like, this lady is full of crap. Look at her. She looks fine. I'm so much worse than her. Look at me. I'm suffering. Like, if that's you, trust me, I get it. I was stuck in bed. To go to the bathroom, I had to get out of my bed and crawl, hyperventilating, trying to catch my breath because I had no energy from the chronic fatigue syndrome that I did not know I had. And I was crawling to the shower to then reach up, turn the knob on, fall with exhaustion, sit at the bottom of the shower while the water hit me, trying to reach for the soap. And I mean, guys, I can't even. That alone is trauma. Having these conditions is traumatic. Definitely go to God, definitely get therapy, definitely communicate with people because it can be very traumatic, very traumatic. And then sometimes you're like doing great, you feel like it's all gone, and then there she is, little Miss Fibromyalgia is right back there. So yes, it is a full body experience. It is very difficult, but you can live, you can do things. Life is so much slower for me. It's ridiculous. I fought it. I can't fight it anymore. I'm done fighting. I'm so Hi there. My camera cut out. So if you stuck around this long, thank you so much for your support. I look forward to your comments. I look forward to any questions you have. And I really hope you click subscribe and please share my channel. Let's help each other. Let's support each other. And let's live. Let's live. Let's not let fibromyalgia destroy us. God bless you. Bye.